Aloha, I'm Debbie Gimo, or at least that's my earthly name and what I go by. However, I'm really trying to feel into and move into this space of who I truly am as my multidimensional self. And that is Archeia Heidi. Archeia means female archangel. I learned that this was my identity about 2 years ago and haven't really known what to do with it. I only have known myself as Debbie, although I'm moving into this space of feeling it. So I think this is the next step in my journey, is honoring who I truly am as a multidimensional being. So this is my second video. For those of you who did not see my first one, I have been really guided and nudged, and now I'm feeling pushed into sharing my experiences of my awakening over the last 7 years. I fought it. I've been told I need to do a YouTube channel, I need to document what I'm experiencing, and I kind of really have had resistance around it because I felt like there's so many channelers out there that are pretty merged with their higher selves, that get a lot more information than I do, or maybe more quickly. Mine doesn't come all the time. I am very much still in my healing journey, but I've come a long way. But what I was shown in the last week, actually probably the last 3 or 4 days really, is that there's a really big gap missing for those newly awakened. And there's a lot, the masses are starting their awakening right now across our planet, and you're probably one of them if you're watching this. So I feel like I'm here to fill that gap. So what I wanted to talk about today is Ho'o Pono Pono. I live in Hawaii. I live on the gorgeous tropical island of Maui. I'm very blessed. I moved here 15 years ago. I have moved over 50 times in my life. And when my husband and I came here in 2003 on vacation, I had a lump in my throat. I locked myself in a bathroom in a restaurant. Okay, I didn't lock the door, but I had myself in the bathroom in a restaurant and couldn't leave. I told my husband, go home, sell our homes, pack up our kids, and bring them back here. I can't ever leave because I have never felt home in my life. I now know why that didn't happen. I went back and we moved here 3 months later. But I have since realized and come to know that because this was home to me, I was a Lemurian. I very, very, very much resonate with the energy of the land here, and this is home to me. So one of the practices the Hawaiians have, an ancient practice, is called Ho'o Pono Pono, and that's what I want to talk about today. Ho'o Pono Pono helps you transmute frequencies, energies, lower vibrational energies. So everything is energy, absolutely everything is energy. And you will come to really experience this. Everything is energy. When you have an energy vibrates at different levels. Vibrates slower, it's more dense. Vibrates faster, it's a higher frequency. And we are starting to take on let me back up, because I feel like that sentence isn't finishable for me. I was shown by my higher self, my oversoul, a couple of weeks ago, that what is happening physiologically in a very simplistic form is that through the great galactic sun, we are getting photonic light that's higher vibrational. You can look at the shamanic resonance of our planet and see that scientists are measuring it, and it's higher than it's ever been. It's because we're getting all of this amazing higher vibrational energy, higher vibrational, higher frequency, however you want to say it, whatever resonates with you. That's coming from the great galactic sun through our sun in our solar system that we rotate around is a portal. And through that sun, our sun portal, it's coming down through our crown right into our bodies. Our bodies are absorbing it, period. And it's making changes in our body. So one of the things that happens that I was shown is that as these higher vibrational frequencies are entering our physical body, it's going to dense areas of our body. So where we've had traumas and dramas and pain of the past, it may be in this lifetime. It could have been something that happened in your childhood. It could have been something simple. Simple teasing when you were really, really small. Or maybe it was an abusive parent. Or something horrific that you saw, or whatever. We all understand what traumas are. So these traumas are held within the cellular memory of our body, and it may be this lifetime or it may be a past lifetime, but it's coming up for release. So as we're pulling this higher dimensional energy, this light into our body, and light is information, dark is lack of information. As we're pulling this light, this information into our body, it's going to the denser areas. So it's going to trigger traumas to come up for release. I'm going to do another video about traumas just so that I keep them short and something that you can refer back to if this resonates with you. So as this trauma, let's say this lower frequency in our body, this density comes up for review, as we transmute that energy, as Archangel Michael says to me all the time, you can't just let it go, because I'm always saying, just let it go. You can't just let it go. Energy is never created nor destroyed. You have to transmute it. And so again, we'll talk about that, those things. But one of the ways that you can transmute it is through Ho'o Pono Pono. So I'm going to get right back to that, but I wanted to just finish this thought, excuse me, is that as this density comes up, and we've transmuted it and released it through that transmutation process, we are left with a space, a new space, that light that we've brought in can heal and fill. To fill that space is what I meant to say. And this light is information. So as this happens, that information is decoding our DNA. Those strands of DNA that scientists have called junk are not junk. They're being decoded right now so that we can move back into our multidimensional selves. So I read a book a couple years ago called Zero Limits, and it's the ancient Hawaiian practice of, this is what it says on the cover. I think it says the ancient Hawaiian practice of health, wealth, and healing, or something like that. But it's called the zone, or Zero Limits, It's called Zero Limits. And it's really amazing. It's a true story about a man that had heard a story about a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, a psychologist who went to the island of Oahu here on Maui. That's where Honolulu is. And he looked at the medical record of all of these inmates that were criminally insane. He never physically saw them or met with them or talked to them, but one at a time he took their medical records, he read through every one of their diagnoses and their, not just the diagnosis, but the criminal acts that they did. And one at a time, with each diagnosis and each act, if you're in the healthcare profession, then I would say he did a care planning for every single diagnosis, every single want to say felony, but act of violence that he had perpetrated. So he looked at every one of these, and he went inside of himself and he said, Ho'o Pono Pono, which is, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. And that transmutes that energy. So he looked at every one of these inmates and one at a time healed them. And I want to say, it was just a miraculous book. I want to say it was all but 2 were completely released to society and healed. And I can't remember the other 2, but they were all, even the last ones were healed to a certain extent. Maybe they were able to reintegrate into society. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I've used this book, and I Ho'o Pono Pono all day long, every day. So it started for me with, as I was having a dark night of the soul, and so much coming up at one time that I was like uncomfortable in my body. Get me out of here. It's like right here. I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't function. I would deal with every single feeling that was coming up for me. Going back to what those feelings meant to me, what was coming up, and I would Ho'o Pono Pono it. Everywhere within me that I am manifesting this into my awareness, and I keep recreating these manifestations over and over and over on a lower vibrational level. I am so very sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Everywhere in my body that I have manifested this into my awareness and recreating, fill in the blank over and over. I am so very sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So just in a nutshell, that's what that is. I highly recommend this book. It is absolutely amazing, and that's what the psychologist used to heal these people. So, I mean, just, in a quick nutshell, that's what Ho'o Pono Pono is, and it works. It's not the only way to transmute energy, but it's one way, and it's worked for me. So I just wanted to share. Be happy to give you more information on it. You can always reach me at highvibemaui@gmail.com. I wish you an amazing, amazing day, and I love you. Aloha.